Hi, my name's Wendy Hill. I'm joining you from the Education and Training team at Carers New South Wales. Today we were wanting to share with you some new disaster planning resources that have been created specifically for carers. Before we begin, this presentation provides general information on staying safe. Please follow the New South Wales Government advice at all times. Details are available in the handbook. Also, we understand that some of you have lived through a natural disaster. This may have impacted on you, the person you support, your family, and your community. Talking about it may trigger some difficult memories and experiences. If so, you may wish to contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which you're all joining me today and extend my respects to elders both past, present, and emerging. I'm joining you from Darug country in the Hawkesbury. So Carers New South Wales would like to acknowledge the industry experts and the carers with lived experiences of natural disasters who helped us design these resources. We've explored some of the disasters that carers may face. We've looked into the tools and knowledge that may be of benefit. We've considered the additional needs when caring for somebody, and we've also explored who may be able to help you before, during, and after a disaster event. So today we're just going to walk you through very quickly natural disasters, the challenges that carers face, available resources, choosing a plan, and the support that is available to you. So we know that the frequency and severity of natural disasters is increasing in Australia. We are expecting to see more bushfires, more flood events, more storms, and more heat waves in the future. We also know that being prepared can save lives and help you and your family make better decisions in the event that you're faced with a natural disaster. So if you think about the specific things that we're hoping that carers have an opportunity to reflect on, the first one is understanding your risk of a natural disaster. So thinking not just about where you live, where the person you support might be living, where you might be working or holidaying, and what is it that you might need to be thinking about if you're in one of those areas. It's also helpful to reflect on who may be able to assist you before, during, and after a disaster event. Another thing to consider is if there is an event that's local to you, what would be your trigger to leave? And if you did need to leave your home, where would you go to and what would you take with you? I think another thing that can be quite overwhelming at times is that there is so much information out there, and some of it may be quite relevant to you, and some of it might be just a little bit overwhelming and a bit distracting. So we've spent a little bit of time working through the different types of plans that may be available and what the strengths or the benefits are of each of those plans to help guide you on what might be most relevant and most supportive for your personal circumstances. Our resources consist of a handbook with lots of really important information, direct links to website pages and videos and support numbers. We have the Carer Gateway Emergency Care Plan. Carers New South Wales also created an evacuation plan specifically for carers to help you reflect on some of the complexities when you're responsible for another person. We also have two one-page checklists just to streamline and make that information a bit easier to access. And we also have a number of disaster planning workshops that people are welcome to register for that are run on a regular basis. So I'm just going to start with the handbook. Now, Carers New South Wales has a number of details around emergency planning and disaster planning on our website. So all of these resources are freely available to you on our website. And if we click on the link here, this will actually take you directly to the disaster planning landing page. But if you get lost somewhere along the way, you just need to enter disaster planning in the search words, and it will be able to direct you to this page here that I'm showing you now. So you can see if you're landing on our website, we've got a section on emergency planning, and immediately underneath that, we've got our disaster planning section. So here we have a handbook, the evacuation plan, the evacuation checklist, and a go-to-kit checklist that can be downloaded onto your laptop, your computer. It also can be opened up on a smartphone or a tablet device. So if we're looking at the handbook itself, we have designed the handbook in a way that the table of contents helps you quickly navigate to whatever the topic is of interest and most urgency to you. So if you've opened up our handbook and you are only interested in getting your home ready for bushfire, for instance, you can go straight to that particular topic, click on bushfire, and it will take you to the page that you're interested in. We also have easy navigation. We can return to the table of contents just by clicking this hyperlink at the bottom of each page. So if I walk you quickly through the contents, Resilience New South Wales has a Get Ready for Disasters, a 5-step plan for disaster preparedness in New South Wales. And we've followed that structure in the creation of these resources. So we can see step 1 is know your risk. Step 2 is to plan for what you will do. Step 3 is to getting your home ready. And we've listed some of those more common natural disaster events. Although I do need to point out tsunami danger is incredibly low risk in Australia. We're more likely in New South Wales to experience high tidal events and coastal erosion. But this is in there just to allay people's fears around that and to point out what resources are available to you. Step 4 is about being aware. And step 5 is looking out for each other. Then we've got some information on choosing a disaster plan. And we've got some carer-specific resources. Then we have more details. So what we found when we were researching this is there was an overwhelming amount of information, and it was taking a long time to navigate and find out topics of interest and where to find specific guidance. So we've actually built those links in directly for you. So if you're concerned about your fire risk and you're wanting to use the RFS Bushfire Household Assessment Tool, you can go straight to the page, and we can see here number 24 provides a direct link to the RFS website where you can actually do their online risk assessment. So if I click on this hyperlink here, it is opening the page for me. And we can see here that we've got the RFS landing page for their Bushfire Household Assessment Tool. So we can see that we've got that list of RFS resources. We also have a list of the State Emergency Service resources, including their home emergency plan that caters to flood and storm events. We have a list of Red Cross resources. New South Wales is really the go-to site for information and advice around heatwave events and COVID-19. And there are also some specific resources that have been developed by the Physical Disability Council of New South Wales, the Deaf Society. There's a fantastic person-centred emergency preparedness toolkit, and Meals on Wheels have also created a number of resources to support older people who may live alone. Then we have a list of types of supports that may be helpful to you to help recovery after a disaster event. And then we have the checklist that I'm about to show you in the appendix of the handbook for quick reference. And we also have more resources at the end of the booklet as well. And we have the direct link and telephone numbers for these resources that may be helpful to you. So that's our handbook. We also wanted to raise awareness around Carer Gateway's emergency care plan. Now, this has been designed specifically for carers. In the event that Something may happen and somebody needs to step into your shoes and take over from you in a hurry. This provides an opportunity for you to capture all the information and all the things you do for that person that you're caring for, so somebody can take over in a hurry if need be. There's a template that guides you through types of information to collect. And there's also these little cards that you may choose to fill out and carry in your purse or in your wallet. And it just lets people know that you are a carer and the details of the person that you're caring for. So when Carers New South Wales was looking at all of these different plans, one thing we were a bit concerned about was they didn't really recognise or take into consideration the complexity of caring for somebody. So we worked with some industry experts and some carers to design our own plan. It's 7 pages, so I'm just showing you a bit of a snapshot here. But it talks you through in a bit more detail what types of things will inform your decision making in the event of a disaster. And this was kind of off the back of some experiences where people found places like evacuation centres couldn't cater to their needs. And then people were quite shocked to realise that they had to make alternative arrangements. So this gives people a chance to sit down with their formal and their informal support networks and reflect on their personal circumstances and explore what options are available to them, and pop that in writing so that they've got a record and they understand who they're going to turn to and who will be able to provide assistance. And then we realised that all of these plans and all of this information is already getting a bit overwhelming and a bit detailed. And one of our carers made the fantastic suggestion, can we have a one-page overview of how to get ready for an evacuation? So we designed this one-page checklist, and it captures some of that key information. So if I'm needing to leave home, where am I going to? How am I getting there? Who can help me? Before I leave, we recognise too that a disaster event can be quite overwhelming, quite emotional for people, and it can cause a level of panic. So sometimes we forget the basics. We forget to lock up the house, turn the power off. We might race out of the house and forget the dog. We also, really important to let family and friends know if we're leaving home, so people are not worried and thinking that you're trapped in that disaster area when you've left and you're safely somewhere else. Important to check for road closures to make sure that wherever you're going to, you can actually travel there quite safely. And cancel your service providers so they're not sort of pressing the panic button and wondering where you've gotten to. We've got a summary of types of items that you may wish to pack, and we've got space here for people to put some of those personal items that are really critical for them to take with them. We've also got some helpful phone numbers and apps, and then we've got some key telephone numbers down the bottom here as well. Likewise with our Go Kit, it gives people an opportunity to think about what would I need to pack? Are there some things that I can have sitting in a container in the garage or in the bedroom that are ready to go if I need them? So we've got our emergency kit. If you have animals, if you've got pets, therapy dogs, you may need to have additional considerations when you're packing, and then items to pack for yourselves. So they're the resources in a nutshell. Carers New South Wales is running monthly workshops. They're 2 hours, and they're combined with information sharing and discussion. And it's an opportunity for people to share their experiences, share tips and strategies with each other. And finally, I just wanted to share with you, this was a fantastic piece of advice shared with us by one of our carers. Knowing what you will do and mapping it out can be the difference between doing well and doing not so well. Having a plan allows you to go back to your normal routine as quickly as possible. So please take the opportunity to jump on our website and have a look, and you're more than welcome to register for one of our workshops. Thank you.